What's up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Got another great show here for you tonight. We're going to be talking about antennas for Pota, and we got Mike K8MRD. He's going to come out and talk to us real quick before we bring him out. I wanted to say thank you to all of you guys. You guys are the greatest supporters ever. In the past week, like so many of you guys have like just hooked me up. I made a payment to Ben on that radio that he had set me up with, and then he's like, you know what? Let's call it even. I still owed him $100 on that thing. He's like, let's call it even. So thank you, Ben. Thank you to William Collins. Sent me this awesome Ham Radio Adventure Guy shirt. Thanks to my Patreons, James and Dwayne. Yeah, you guys are killing it, man. I appreciate every one of you. But let's bring Mike out and get this thing started. What's up, Mike?
Ahoy, hoy. That is a cool shirt.
Yeah, man. Like last week on the live stream, William's like, hey, are you good on QRZ? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, I sent you something. I was like, cool. You know, I didn't know what it was. And
yeah.
And then Friday, I get this in the mail, and I was like, oh, my God, this is awesome.
I love surprises.
Yeah, surprises are always cool.
Apparently, I have something coming to me, and I don't know what. And it's like I love surprises, but I hate them at the same time.
Oh.
So what's happening?
Not a whole lot, man. I've just been Pota-ing like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. My goal was to get all the parks in West Virginia within the year that I started Pota. I started in March, so I won it by December 31st. And I had a lot of setbacks early in the year, and come the end of July, I still needed 100 parks. And I was like, what the crap?
Jeez.
Yeah. So in August, September, and October, I've just absolutely killed it. And I now have 4 parks left in the state of West Virginia to do.
Holy crap.
So
that's crazy. Fortunately, West Virginia is not that big of a state, so you can, what does it take, couple few hours to get across it, maybe?
I think I thought that too, but man, I'll tell you what, the parks out in the Panhandle and stuff like that, they're like 6 hours away, and I'm like, my
is it really that far?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, for Support Your Parks weekend, I threw sleep out the window. So I did. I activated one of my local parks here that night, and I didn't get started at 8 o'clock. I didn't get started till like 9:30 because I did the net that night.
Yeah.
And so I started about 9:30. I got home about 11:30, and I was like, forget it. I started packing my stuff. 1:45, I was out the door, and it was like 7:48 the next morning. I was setting up at my first park. Wow. And I did 9 parks and got home at like 2:30 in the morning.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's too much.
But that's just me. That's
what are you setting up for antennas? Are you setting up like an NFET or something when you go out, or you got something mobile mounted to just get in and out?
No, I am a Eagle One guy. I love my Eagle One.
What is that?
It's basically a vertical, and I run it straight off the hitch mount of my vehicle. I don't have a drive on or nothing. I got a little hitch mount that comes out. It slides right down in it, goes up 33 feet in the air, and
is that the one where the wire goes in the middle of the mast? Is that a TN07 antenna, or is that?
No, it's an
Eagle One. Okay,
it's Eagle One. I actually went straight to Eagle One and got it. It's the same antenna that Carrie KB3 WAV uses.
Yeah, and
that thing, it kills it. I mean, I have my backup. My backup is an Eagle One. I'm not Eagle One. My backup is a Wolf River Coils, and I've got it for when I hike in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because I'm not about to pull that Eagle One with me. I've got a tripod for it. But that tripod, oh my God, it's 30 pounds.
Yeah. So what is it, a 9-to-1, or what kind of antenna is it? I'm not too familiar with it.
This is what gets everyone. Everybody's like, what's it got on a 9-to-1, 49-to-1? it don't have nothing on it. I don't know what the magic is on this antenna, but there's not a single band that I've tried to tune. Well, I was telling you earlier.
But you're using a tuner.
I am using a tuner.
Okay.
But Joseph last week, he was talking about his award and stuff, and he got me started. So I've been going out this past week, and I've been trying every single band I can possibly think of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get that award. And just like today, I got Venezuela on 17 meters. I got my first ever 30-meter contacts because I was like, you know what, I'm going to FT8 and do 30 meters because I've never done 30 meters ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like 10 contacts on 30 meters today. But that antenna, it tunes great. And
nice.
I love the thing. And we'll talk a little bit about it, but that's my go-to. So if you're the man of a million antennas here, but what would be your go-to antenna?
Well, I don't have a million antennas, and I've said for a very long time I have no idea how many antennas I own. So as I was preparing for tonight's stream, I'm getting out some antennas, and I have like 9 or 10 on my bench behind me that I'm going to grab. But then I started looking in the corners and checking it, and I've come up, and these are just HF antennas. I've found at least 24 HF antennas that I own. There's probably a couple more, like the first 15 or 20 were kind of easy, like, oh yeah, there's that. And then I was like, oh wait. And then the last one I kind of was like, oh, there's an antenna over my roof. That was number 24. And that's not counting like VHF, UHF antennas. So I definitely love them. But so my main go-to antennas, I used to say there's just 2, but now there's 2 kinds, sort of. So let me grab some things here. Okay, so for the longest time, folks would ask me, what's your favorite antenna? I'd say, well, there's really 2. There's this here, which is the Pactena end-fed half-wave. This is one of my absolute favorite antennas in the world, and it still is. But now I've kind of lumped it into just an end-fed half-wave in general, because there's the Pactena, there's the KM4 ACK. Now, this is technically, he markets this as a QRP antenna. He's told me he runs 100 watts out of it, no problem. Sideband. I run 100 watts through the Pactena. All the Pactenas are rated for 100 watt sideband. I challenge you to do a Pota activation with a max of 1 contact per antenna. No, that's just silly. That's way too much time setting up antennas. So anyway, so there's the Pactena, the KM4 ACK antenna. This is the 10 tennas. This is made in Tennessee by Walt. He 3D prints these. This is the newer version that doesn't melt in the heat with this white plastic. These are fantastic. And I mean, they all pretty much work the same. They're all 65-ish feet of wire. And then there's this Chameleon lightweight end-fed sloper. This is rated for 500 watts. So, I mean, if you want to do 100 watts FT8 out in the field, knock yourself out. And this does all bands. With a choke, this will do all bands 40 through 6. So no tuners necessary. So there's the end-fed half-wave. But wait, there's more. And then I can kind of show you this, but I kind of can't. We'll just look at the mast. The DX Commander. This is the Expedition in all of its glory. I love, 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 love this antenna. I've done many videos on it. I just did a recent video on this. If you go to my channel, probably, 3 or 4 videos back, I show how to add an extra wire to this to give you 1 extra band.
The K8MRD mod.
You got it, baby.
I seen the video. Yeah. Awesome stuff.
Callum said, don't tell anyone that I won't sell any more of the classics, but you can do the same thing in the classic and get an extra band on the classic. So those are all resonant antennas, no tuner, multi-band resonant antennas that you do not need a tuner for, which is what I'm all about. What trickery does Chameleon use for the LEFS? So the best that I can find, the best that I can figure, the LEFS is just a 49-1. It's got your 2 primaries and then 12 secondaries. It is a 49-1, and there is a it's covered in black, but there is a resistor there between the center and the shield. It's the choke that adds the magic sauce to it. And I would suspect that if you add a choke to any of the end-fed half waves, you might have similar results. In fact, we were kind of playing around with it at Support Your Parks weekend. Scott from Ham Radio for Non-Techies was tuning up his 10 antennas and put a choke on it, and everything got better. I don't use a choke on any of mine. They're tuned just very, very nice because I take my sweet freaking time, and I'll put that mast up and I'll take it down 100 times until it is just dead perfect to where I want it. So that's the key. I mean, I enjoy antennas though. So to me, it's not a chore. I want to get it resonant. I want it to work perfectly when I get out in the field. So
I see Joe Brett out in the chat. Thank you. I got mail the other day. Thank you very much, Joe.
Nice. I'm surprised he is even conscious today. He had a. How you feeling today, buddy? Did you give out any DUIs today? Blowing in my machine.
Yeah, so, I would assume he would have probably let somebody go today.
Yeah, or not, because like if I was hurting, like I imagine he might be. I'm not the most patient person to begin with, so I might have just been really hard on people. So I've got more antennas if you want to see them. So those are my favorite. A resonant antenna is going to be my favorite. And let me grab a couple more since it's show and tell. So these are all very portable antennas. Every single one of these. You're going to notice they all, like, one of my main things, because I don't operate from home very often because I have a high noise floor. And even when I lived in Michigan, you got a dipole over your house and you don't need to fuss with different antennas. It just works. So this is another awesome antenna. This is the Pactena linked dipole. A little bit bigger in size than the other models of Pactena. But this thing, I mean, just a regular dipole is such a great, efficient antenna. This thing gets out. I don't use it as much because the end-fed half wave is exponentially easier to set up. I do need a white van. You guys want some popsicles? Come on in my van. But just a resonant dipole is such a great performer, and this is linked just with these little banana clips. So they're like 2.5 millimeter gold-plated banana clips. So very, very clever design, and I'm in love with this antenna. I haven't used this in a while. I really need to.
So what all bands does that one do?
So the Pactena Link dipole comes with the wire for 20 meters. It comes long, so you got to cut it. So I think I centered mine for the phone portion or something. I got this when I was a general. Now I center everything just for the middle of the band, pretty much. I'm an extra. Then I added another length of wire for 40 meters. So this is a 40 and 20. But you can hack it up and you can make it resonant on whatever band you want just by adding more links to it. So very customizable. But I got this a few years ago. When did I get this? 2019. Yeah. Something like that. Like 2019, I think I got that. And any band other than 40 and 20 pretty much wasn't ever open, like 17, 15, 12, 10, 6, not happening. So, but now they're getting more open, and that's why that's why I added that other element to the DX Commander, because I wanted 12, just because, like, I'm hearing FT8 when I go out. I listen to all the bands, and I'm hearing FT8 on 12 meters. I made a couple phone contacts on 10 meters like a week ago. Like things are happening. The sun is getting happy again. So anyway, so those are the resonant antennas. For those who want all the bands, but the convenience of a really easy to set up antenna, the 9-to-1 end fed is a fantastic option. I've got a couple here. This is the Pactena, the Pactena Mini 9-to-1. So there's a Pactena Mini and there's a Pactena end fed half wave. So the Mini is a 9-to-1 unun. They're all ununs except for the dipole has a balun, which unun is unbalanced to unbalanced. So this just transforms the impedance from, I don't know what it does, but 9-to-1. So 9 times, divide that by 50 or something. But so it's not a resonant antenna at all. It's what is called a random wire antenna, even though it's the lengths aren't actually random. This is about 43 feet of wire. You want it to be a length that is not resonant on any one band.
Right.
So you can use a tuner. You need a tuner with this. The tuner in your radio will not work for this. You need a tuner capable of like a 10-to-1. The tuners in your radios are usually, unless you have like a G90 or like an Elecraft KX something, KX2, KX3, the Zygo X50, or excuse me, the Sigu. It's Zygo. I don't care. The Zygo G90 and X50-105 will tune this. Anything with a good tuner. And then, I mean, you can get on any band you want with this thing. Just know that there's a compromise because you're going to have some losses in the transformation, and your impedance is a bit higher. So, but I mean, it's so negligible. This is another performer. I love this. I run this up a 43-foot telescopic mast. It's just running straight up and down as a vertical, and this thing kills it. But you got to have a tuner with it. So that's the other thing. That's the thing. Like if you want all bands, you can use it. That's great. But you need a radio that's capable of tuning that, or you have to bring an external tuner. So like if I'll use my 891, I have to bring my I've got an MFJ auto tuner that I would use for this. I've got a couple portable tuners, but the auto tuner is the easiest. So that's just another bit of kit you got to bring. And it's, there's the compromise. So.
See, that would make a good soda antenna for me, because I do use it. I do use a G90 when I go for soda, and that would be good and light, and I can get what band I wanted. Not that I really do. Really, honestly, before Joseph got me on this crazy kick last week, I would go out and I'd hit one band and I'm done. I'll get me 50, 100 contacts and I'm done. But ever since, and I'm having fun with it because he got me started this, and I'm talking to different areas than I normally talk to, because I'm trying all these different bands. Like my second call today on 17 meters was Venezuela. So
that's awesome. I've heard a lot of DX on 17 meters lately. And 15 meters. So, where was this question? So, Dwayne asked, 9-to-1 needs a counterpoise, right? So, yes and no. I use a counterpoise. I have, so the Pactenas have, I don't know if you can really see it. This gold thing right here, that's where the antenna plugs in. But on the bottom, there's another one of those that you can't see because it's covered up by wire, but it's like right there, kind of. So, anyway, so I took another banana plug, and I can stick it in there, and I have three. They're like 3 15-foot. I have no idea what length they are. I use them now. Johnny from Signal Search, who unfortunately took down his channel again, which sucks, he uses this without a counterpoise, and I suspect if you have a long enough coax, it would do just the same as a 49-to-1 and act as a counterpoise. So I don't know. I use a counterpoise. I have not tried it without, but I have seen others do it without. So that's all I can tell you. This is awesome. This right here, just the BNC with the Torre. That's the K6ARK 9-to-1. And all of that right there is all your transformer and antenna connection, and then everything else is just wire. There's actually 2 wires coming off of this. If you can see, I'm really good at not getting things on camera, but there's 2 wires coming out of this. One of them is a counterpoise that's about 17 feet, and then the other is the actual radiating element. So this is freaking awesome. I think I've done a couple videos with this antenna, and I love this with the Zygo G90, or excuse me, the X5105, because the X5105 has BNC. It's got a tremendous tuner. I can tune like 160 through 6 with this thing, and it's awesome. So love that. An honorable mention, this right here. This is such a cool antenna. The Slinktenna, James Hannibal makes this, quirky QRP. They're handmade. They're a lot of these antennas that I'm showing you are from very small manufacturers, from people who have actual jobs that are not antenna manufacturers. So getting a hold of any one of these antennas other than the DX Commander, you're going to have to be patient. They just are not made in high quantity. But this is legit a Slinky.
That's great.
It is a Slinky. So it's a it's kind of a dipole of sorts. But there's a 9-to-1 in here. So this is technically a 9-to-1. What does he call it? Helical dipole. And this does require an antenna tuner. But it says, I don't know if it'll focus, minimum recommended height 5 to 8 feet. So I've strung this just on the eaves of my porch and have made contacts with my G90 across the country with this. So neat. I have not poted with this yet, and I need to. But setting this up, you got to have a support here, and then you got to have 2 supports for the Slinky to kind of hold it out, horizontal. So it's not the most Pota-able antenna, but it's just a neat little bit of kit to have.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely a cool little antenna. How far does that stretch out?
Not far at all. They're you don't really want to stretch them any more than about 6 feet per leg. I mean, it doesn't take up much footprint at all. So K5YVI is asking, Mike, do you have any idea how many antennas you have? And we were talking about that before we went live, weren't we?
Yeah.
So the official answer is no. But as I was getting ready for this, so that was 9 antennas. Let me give an honorable mention here real quick. And then I'll answer your question. Hamsticks. This is too long to get all in the shot, but I did a video recently on these things. These are just monoband portable antennas, and these things work great. A lot of people dog on them. I don't care. Don't pay attention to what other people say, unless literally just every single person in the world you talk to says that antenna is garbage. Because there are some gimmicky things out there, but hamsticks work great, and they're really cheap. I mean, this is a 20-meter hamstick. They might cost $20, $25, and that's it. So you can run these mobile on your car. You can set up on a tripod or something, and just set it up on the ground vertically. You can put 2 of them together and have them as a dipole. They're really neat. So, anywho, so as I was preparing for this, I got out. So now we've seen 10 antennas, 10 different antennas. So I started counting, because I've always said for the longest time I have no idea how many antennas I own, and I still don't. But just HF antennas, I was counting them all. There's probably still a couple that I haven't seen. But I came to 24, and I gave a couple antennas away at Huntsville Hamfest. So I had a couple more. But yeah, 24. Those are just HF antennas. I don't even, and then if we counted the VHF, UHF, no idea. So at least 24, more than 24. Definitely more than 24.
Brian wants to know how narrow banded the ham sticks are.
They're not very narrow band at all. I don't I don't like narrow banded antennas. I can't remember what the SWR sweep was, but I definitely made a video on those not too long ago. I mean, within the last couple months. So it's probably one of the last 10 videos that I've put out, and I'm pretty sure I show. But I'm pretty sure you can get the whole phone portion well within a happy SWR. Or pizzas, as we decided to change them on the Ham Radio Clubhouse last night. We're changing SWR to pizzas. So if you have less than 3 slices of pizza of SWR, you're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
So yes, the I don't own an antenna that's a high Q antenna. I don't want to deal with that crap. I don't want to have to retune it. A lot of people think another honorable mention. I don't have them here right now because I lent them to Jason from Ham Radio 2.0, but the Wolf River Coils antennas would definitely be showing here if they were physically in my house. And a lot of people seem to think that those are fairly narrow banded antennas, and that is not the case at all. I mean, I'll set it for like the middle of the phone portion, and you don't have to retune it at all. So unless you change bands or go way down to CW or something.
Like, I mean, I use my Eagle One as much as I possibly can because I love it. But the Wolf River Coils is my backup. And when I went on Hamcation in Florida, like every park that I did in Florida, just about, because I had somebody else driving me around, I did on the Wolf River Coils, and I did every band imaginable down there.
Yeah.
So they're great.
And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna backpedal a second because I said you might need to retune it if you go down to CW, but I don't even think I'm pretty sure you're gonna be happy with the entire band. Maybe not 80. That might be a stretch.
Yeah, now 80, you do have to move different points on the coil for FT8 and for a single sideband. I do know that.
Yeah,
but that's the only one I have to do that on.
Yeah,
is 80.
Yeah, I've not had. I mean, you set it and forget it. I mean, they're not. I haven't messed around with the with any magnetic loops. I know those are very high Q. Like if you go, you might have 50 kilohertz either side. Probably not even. Probably 25. You probably have a whole of maybe 50 or 25 kilohertz. I'm not sure, but they're. If you move too far, I know you're gonna have to retune. It might even be more narrow than that, but I don't want to fuss with tuning and antennas and things when I'm out in the field. I want to get on the air as fast as possible, and I want to make as many contacts as possible in the time that I'm there. So by having resonant antennas, or even by having, if I had a 9-to-1 and I'm using my G90 or my X5105, that I can tune up just instantly without having to get up and like with a mag loop, you got to retune the thing, and like those things. Every video that I've seen on them, like those things are finicky. Like if you blow on it, you might change its resonance. Like they're that touchy, and I don't understand why they don't give it a higher gear ratio. And the Wolf River Coils is kind of the same. I recommend bringing an analyzer out with you to get them tuned up faster. They don't take a lot of time. But you got to unplug the coax. You got to put the analyzer on. You got to walk all the way over there and adjust the coil and stuff. But they work fantastic.
I mean, really, all I did is I used an analyzer when I first got mine, and I pretty much made myself little marks, all down the coil.
Yeah.
And they're not exact, but it gives me something that I can be pretty close to, and I just make the adjustment from there.
I'm too OCD to put marks on mine. I want them to be pristine. But I mean, I've got that little MFJ 223 analyzer. I mean, the thing is smaller than your hand, and it's just so lightweight and easy to use, so it's not a big deal to me. But yeah.
So you're the king of speed once you call CQ, but while you're setting up, you take your time, and you're all cool with that, right?
No. I as my kind of Pota career or just portable operating has matured over the years, I mean, I used to just pack my bag with all kinds of crap, and sometimes I still will. I've been using my 705 in the backpack for like the last 2 months now. I've only done 200-watt activations with any other radio other than my 705 in the last 2 months. No, I take that back. I've done 3. It's just it's lightweight. It's easy. I mean, I'm on the air with this Soda Beams Carbon 6 mast. Look at how small this thing is. This is an 18-meter mast, or excuse me, a 6 meter, 18 feet, or maybe it's 19 feet, something like that. And I'm on the air when I go hiking, and when I get to my operating location that I call my Forrest Gump bench, I'm literally on the air. If it takes me 5 minutes, that's a long time. I mean, it's just stupid fast. And there's nothing in my bag. There's the radio. I have a Denko battery, a 7 amp hour Denko lithium iron phosphate battery. I've got a small length of maybe 15 or 20 feet of RG213, or excuse me, RG316 coax, and one of my NFEDs. That's it. Done.
So Ed Sweeney wants to know, he said he heard that 40-meter ham sticks need more tuning than 20 meters.
Ed, you should go watch my video on ham sticks. But actually, I don't have a 40-meter ham stick. I only have a 20 and a 10. So I tuned I had to cut the whip, the stinger as they call it, I believe. I think I cut about 5 or 6 inches off of it to get it resonant. And there's still probably 4 inches or so that actually goes inside of the antenna. But yeah, there was so much metal going inside of the coil part of the ham stick. It's adding probably capacitance, I would guess it would be, and it's not allowing the antenna to tune. So because there's so much metal inside that coil, could be inductance. I don't know. I'm not an electrical engineer. It's adding bananas and wigglies that shouldn't be there. Let's go with that. So yes, you definitely do need to tune them. Just pulling them up and down is probably not going to do it. And you got to have I've found at least 2 counterpoise wires of 15 or 16 feet are definitely gonna help you there.
So your little mast that you just showed us, what antenna works the best with that as far as weight wise, or is there several of them that's just fine?
So just NFEDs with those. You're not going to want to put a any kind of center fed, like a dipole or anything. I mean, it's so the center, the first section of this is so incredibly thin. I mean, to compare, I don't know if we can. This is 26 gauge wire. So if you can see, I mean, there's not much difference.
Yeah, there's not much difference.
It is very, very thin. So when I deploy this, I'm actually right about here towards the bottom of the second element. So I'm taking out about that much. There's about 2 feet or so that I'm not using of this. But this thing is fantastic. But I also like put it in a tree, so it's up a couple feet. So it's usually about 18 feet off the ground. But yeah, just like really, really lightweight. All of my NFED half waves, every single one of them except for the Chameleon one, I'm using 26 gauge wire. I prefer the Poly Stealth wire that you can get from I believe it's Amateur Radio Supplies. It's fantastic wire. I also, the yellow stuff, I wish they made yellow Poly Stealth, because I would have that on every antenna that I own, but they don't. It only comes in black. So the yellow stuff I have is from Soda Beams, and that wire, that's also 26 gauge wire. And I like that a lot as well. I really like the high vis yellow stuff, especially for portable. I used to always want black because I wanted to be like concealed, but then I realized that's the dumbest thing in the world, because the second you set an antenna, you could be in the middle of the Mojave, you could be in the middle of the Ganges freaking desert, okay? Like the biggest, what's the biggest desert in the world? The Sahara, maybe? In the middle of the Sahara Desert. Nobody around for thousands of miles. You put an antenna up and someone's going to want to walk through it immediately. So I like the yellow high vis stuff. And that soda beam stuff is stupid cheap. It's like 11 pounds or 11 euros, which is, I don't know, probably like 20 bucks for a 300-foot spool. Or maybe it's a 300 meter. It's stupid big. So yeah, and you can run 100 watts through 26 gauge wire, no problem at all. So
Joseph Collins, I agree. You should get one of those masts, and you should try it out by going to parks in California and activating them until you make contact with me, because I need California.
Let's see. Joseph's saying he uses a Goacher. Yeah, so I have one of those 7-meter Goachers. That's not the one I actually use. I have one that doesn't exist anymore. It's a 10-meter, and I love it. The 7-meter one I bought is garbage. Ham Radio Dude just did a video. Was it last night? What is today? Yeah, he did it last night. He has a different, it's like a 7.2 meter Goacher that I think him and Chuck KK6USY both have, and they speak highly of it. So the Soda Beams mast is by far the absolute best portable mast that I own for tiny, lightweight compactness. I love the DX Commander Expedition mast because it's 2 feet long when it's collapsed, but it's 10 meters when it's extended. So what is that? 34, 35 feet, something like that.
So what is the setup time for a DX Commander if you were going to use it in the field?
15 minutes.
See, that's not that bad. I don't understand why more people don't use that.
Here's the thing, and I was talking with Shane about this and a couple of guys at the Support Your Parks weekend. Because Shane was, and I've not used the Buddy Stick Pro antenna. Everybody's raving about it.
Right.
I have. Jason let me borrow his for a week, but I didn't have much time to play with it. I literally set it up in my front yard. I couldn't get the thing to tune for the life of me, but I didn't have anything. That needs a raised counterpoise. So anyway, long story short, I don't have enough hands-on time with that Buddy Stick Pro, but everybody swears about it. And Shane and NAYO and Hashnasi and like literally everyone that owns that antenna is like, oh, it's so fast to set up. But I'm like, yeah, but when you're only on one band, I'm very much an instant gratification kind of person. So when you go out and do a Pota, what's the first thing a lot of guys do before they get on the air or before they start calling CQ? What do you do?
Before they start calling CQ?
Like your antenna's set up, your radio, you're ready to go. What's the first thing you do?
Go visiting for other parks just to see how everything's working.
Exactly. And you go hunt, you go see if you can get any park to parks before you start operating. Well, not everybody's on the same band. So and I like to do that. So, and I got my Hammers app out and I'm scrolling, all right, who's around? So 40, 20, whatever. I can just change bands. No problem. Done. Okay. Instant gratification because I have multi-band resonant antennas. Whereas if you had a Wolf River Coils or a Buddy Stick Pro or any kind of single band antenna, a Hamstick, whatever, you have to get up and change something. Well, that takes time. So it might only take you 5 minutes to set that Buddy Stick Pro up. And I'm not throwing shade. I've not used it. I've heard nothing but good things about it. And I'm sure it works fantastic. To me, and I would love to have one of those antennas, by the way. It's not a big deal to take 15 minutes to set up the DX Commander with 40, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10 meters, all resonant, all ready to go at the push of a button instantly. So, and then it probably only takes about 10 minutes to take down. It's a little bit faster to take down. So you spend 15 minutes to set it up. Even if you're only out there for an hour, it's really not that big of a deal because then you can hop bands. Well, maybe you set your antenna up for 20 meters. Last week I was out on Thursday on 20 meters, and 20 meters kind of sucked. So we switched to 40 meters, and because I had a resident antenna, just bam. I don't have to get up. I don't have to do anything.
That's been the thing here lately. Ever since that one solar storm, when me and you was talking about it earlier, like I'm always on 40. I'm the majority of my contacts are on 40. But here, after it gets dark anymore, 40 turns to crap for me.
Yeah,
and I've been jumping. I've been doing
weird.
I know, because I stayed on 40, but I've been doing a lot of 80 meters and like killing it. Like,
yeah,
I get more Texas on 80 meters
on
than
80.
on 40.
I just anytime I go on 80, so like I have an antenna set up in the front yard that's kind of a multi-band. It's a horrible antenna, but it works well enough to sit on your front porch and drink a couple beers and play radio, right? We're not trying to get like worked all states here. We're just screwing around. I actually just worked Spain a couple weeks ago, or last week with it, with the G90. So that was surprising. But so every now and again at night I'll get on 80 because my noise floor is just garbage here. But 80 isn't quite as bad at night. But like all I hear is just guys ragging about they're complaining about one thing or another. And here I am complaining about that. So it just doesn't seem like a band that I would want to get on and do anything. I don't know.
I've only had one issue since I've only been doing it like for like 2 weeks now, going over to 80 because I typically stay off of 80. I'm always on 40. But one night it was a late shift and I heard somebody just come through there just saying, you could tell he was an older guy, and just saying, what was he? What did he say exactly? He said, "You're just a QRM machine. That's all you are. You're a QRM machine."
Was it the smoking ape?
And it may have been. Who knows? But so I just ignore him. So people keep calling me. It's night shift, so everybody's calling me away. Then a few minutes later, he comes on there and he said something else smart. And then a few minutes later after that, he said, "Gee, Diet, won't you effing go to another band?"
Wow.
And of course, by this point, I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm done. I'll stay here all night now. And we just kept talking, and one of the contacts said, "Man, that guy's a jerk, ain't he?"
Yeah, but
that's the only time I've had any issue.
Yeah, I've never called CQ on 80 ever. I don't even know. I probably have a couple 80 meter contacts just because I know other people were doing Pota on 80, like Julie and Tom. They do a lot of 80 meter stuff.
Well, I tell you, man, you should jump on there at night one time and do 80. I could actually get you because I've been tearing Texas up on 80 for some reason.
I don't have an antenna that's resonant on 80. That's what I did. I gave 2 antennas away to a kid at Huntsville. One of them was the MFJ 1982 LP, I feel it was. It was an NFED half wave. It was 134 feet long or something like that. I did a review of it. It's a fantastic antenna, but it's just for QRP. And I don't want, it was just, it was like, I don't know, 16 gauge wire, and it was really big and heavy. And like a QRP antenna, this thing needs to be way smaller and lightweight. So I gave it to this kid who was, I think he was, I don't know, like 13 years old, maybe. He was an extra. I mean, the kid was smarter than I'll ever be at 12 or 3, however old he was. So I gave him that antenna, and I gave him the MFJ QR pocket loop thing. That's a cool antenna as well. So I would have to use my 9-to-1 and get on 80 with a tuner. I suppose I could tune up my dipole above my house on 80. I don't know. Or I could just add another 20 meters of wire to one of my NFEDs. I could just make a link. That would actually be the most practical thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple of questions in here. Aluminum walkers, wheeled antenna.
Ooh. I bet it would. So Good Game did a video where he loaded up. It was like a no fishing sign or a stop sign or something like that at a park with the G90 and tuned it up. He's making contacts. So I would suspect an aluminum walker would work. Absolutely. Do I call CQ from my QTH ever? I have, but it's been probably a couple years at least. No.
Really, the only time I call CQ from the house would when I did my 9/11 memorial live stream. I called CQ of it a bit, and that's about it. I mean, I'll hunt like crazy from here. I'll hunt the parks, but
yeah. Before I moved here with my terrible, so I'm just never on the radio at home because my noise floor is so horrendous. Other than just screwing around on the front porch. But my 73, I mean, I have like an S9 noise level on 40. It's just you can't. It's not fun.
Joe Brett says crutches makes great 6-meter dipoles.
I'll bet. When I was still in Michigan, my noise floor wasn't bad at all. Same antenna, same coax. I'm literally the exact same setup. I really loved hunting DX. If I was on the radio at home, and I usually was, I mean, I'm pretty much either doing one of three things. I'm either watching YouTube videos about ham radio, or I'm either on the ham radio chasing DX, or I'm playing my guitar. That's about it, unless I'm sleeping. That's pretty much all I do. But now here I can't get on QRM Eliminator. No, I haven't thought about that. It's power line noise. There's literally 4 power lines that circle my cul-de-sac.
It's so crazy because before I did ham radio, I'd be driving down the road and I'm like, that's a really nice place there. I'd like to live there. And now I'm driving down the road and I'm like, that's a really nice place, but I'd never live there. There's too much power lines.
Yeah. It's funny that how your mindset changes
your whole
when you become a ham.
Changes.
I just became a ham in 2016, and like now it's like everywhere I go, I'm looking up. When you're driving through neighborhoods and things, you're looking up for antennas, and you're looking for like, oh, this would be a cool place to live because there's nothing around. So the noise floor must be really low here. Yeah.
I agree. I agree, Joseph Collins. Pota soda and special events. That's pretty much all I chase too.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have somebody message me and say, "Hey, you want to try to hit me up on, 10 meter or something," and I'll do it. But other than that, like my time is literally spent chasing Pota, calling CQ for Pota, watching YouTubes about Pota.
Yep.
I mean,
it's a disease. It really is. It really truly is. Where was that? Covain asks, this is a great question, and I don't really know if I have an answer, but what is your favorite genre of metal and favorite metal band?
Nice.
That's tough. So basically, I have had a subscription to Sirius XM since like 2010-ish. And I just listen to Channel 40, which is the liquid metal, which is the metal channel. And that's pretty much it. I really like some of the more djenty, progressive type stuff. I like some of the death metal. Some of it, like, Cannibal Corpse is pretty cool. But I can't get too much into them. I like the more rhythmic kind of metal. I mean, definitely heavier stuff for sure. Favorite band, I honestly couldn't even name half the bands that are on the radio anymore. By radio, I mean satellite. Broadcast radio is just garbage. I haven't listened to that, and I won't even listen. It's I don't want to hear the same AC/DC, Van Halen, and Kid Rock songs every day. So favorite metal band, I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that. I mean, I could always go to like the tried and true, like Metallica. I don't even really listen to Metallica much anymore, though. I was a huge Tool fan. I like some of the Between the Buried and Me stuff. But really, like the stuff I listen to, I don't even own that music just because satellite radio plays all the good stuff.
Right.
Here, so yeah.
I'm a big fan of female metal singers. I love female metal. I don't know what it is.
Well, so Liquid Metal has been playing the crap out of this band out of Canada called Spirit Box. So you would probably love them. I am not a fan at all. They have been absolutely shoving it down our throats, this Spirit Box band. But yeah. Who's the other one? There is a really good one. I can't remember the name of it though. Whitechapel is a pretty sweet band. I need to listen to more of their stuff. Whitechapel. That's a band I need to get more into. As well as so Scott from Ham Radio for Non-Techies just gave me Amon Amarth's entire catalog. I need to get more into those guys too. But that's like Swedish death metal kind of stuff that they go back 30 years probably at least. Yeah. Yeah, you should check out Spirit Box if you like female metal bands.
K3JRZ says Hailstorm.
Not my cup of tea, but didn't she die, Lizzie Hale?
No.
No? Someone died. There was a chick metal band. They did
I actually have a guitar pick that she threw at a concert and I got it.
What's cool. That band that did the song I Wanna F You to Death? I thought that was Hailstorm. That chick died. I think they wrote that song with Lemmy. K5YVI likes Garth Brooks. Of course you do. Yeah, there you go. Covain knows Whitechapel. What is the other freaking metal band? I can't think of it. With that, they're super heavy. Like they're freaking awesome. Marty, you need to go. He says Nickelback rocks. Actually, Nickelback is big fans of Pantera, and I think they're like friends with Pantera. So I can't hate on Nickelback too much. Pantera is obviously
Pantera.
I mean, rest in peace, Diamond Vinny. Blacktooths go out to you guys. Yeah, Pantera for sure. I can't think of the name. That's gonna drive me nuts. It's gonna drive me absolutely freaking nuts. Unleash the Archers, no. I can't think of it. She's pretty good looking too. They're Swedish. I don't know. Anyway.
Now I know who you're talking about. God.
Like I want to say it's like Archangel or something, but it's not. It's not at all. But anyway.
I know who you're talking about now.
I don't know if they know what ham radio antennas are, though. So
I did hold the lead singer for Stitched Up Heart up above my head while she crowd surfed. That was an amazing moment.
I have no idea who that is.
You've never heard Stitched Up Heart? They're good.
No.
You should check them up.
And Stevie T on YouTube is awesome because he's a huge metalhead and all he does is make an idiot of himself. And I love him. So not in a platonic way.
So it's like the metal version of somebody going onto the clubhouse.
Kinda, yeah. Except it's just him. Finished tuning his Pactena Trek mount. I have one of those Pactena Trek mounts. I haven't done anything with it because there's literally 0 2-meter activity where I live.
Is it bad that like Tuesday nights I totally just like I threw out late shifts because I gotta be there to watch Clubhouse live?
Yeah, I mean it's getting there's Monday night, there's Tuesday night, now there's stuff Wednesday night, there's Thursday night.
I'll watch everything on
crazy.
replay, but I've got to watch Clubhouse live. It's just
OTEP. I saw OTEP at Ozfest years ago. Yeah, you would love OTEP. Is great. That chick. If you just listen to him, you would have no idea that's a chick. Can you show it to us, please? Can I show you what? It's not Lacuna Coil, although Christina Stabio is pretty hot. I can't even think of the song that I like by them. We'll never know. We'll never know. Maybe next time I'll have it. You guys
all right. So
there's not enough metalheads in the
so
show.
far you've probably talked me into getting a DX Commander because I've been on the fence for a while for it.
Why?
Because I don't really need one. Because I'm telling you, my Eagle One will do anything for me. But
yeah, but you need a tuner.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're setting it up on your trailer hitch, and you're on the air making contacts in Leapfrog Studios is sweet, and you're on the air making contacts in a couple minutes, I mean, that's kind of hard to beat.
But it is, and I mean, and I will do a car activation if I'm doing radar and I got to go quick because I'm not one of those activators that will do the 10 contacts and shut people off. Yeah. Even if I'm doing a radar, like the other day, that day I did 9 parks, there was one of those that I had 100 and some contacts.
Jeez.
And like the second they'd stop calling, I'd be like, last call. And as soon as I say last call,
you can't do that.
20 more would hit there.
Yeah. So someone wanted to see the Pactena Trek mount. So I think that this is kind of one of the prototypes that George sent me. Although it's probably the same thing, but this is it. And there's BNCs on either side. And I'm not sure why, but there are, so just go with it. So that's the actual board. I mean, the thing is tiny.
Yeah, small.
There's. Well, hang on. How many bowfangs is it? I forgot about how we measure things. So it's approximately 1 bowfang high from BNC to BNC.
So it's 1 bowfang high. How many slices of pizza is the SWR?
1. So you have these. He just sent me some Nagoya telescopic whips with these, but he's found some better ones lately. But it's just BNC, and you make a dipole out of it, right?
That's cool.
And they're designed to fit on a trekking pole. So this is really designed for soda. So you put your trekking pole there, and now you have a horizontal dipole for 2-meter sideband, or run it vertically for 2-meter FM. But so he also sent me a couple longer whips that's supposed to get it tuned on 6 meters, but it doesn't work. These whips aren't the right size. I don't know. Or it very well could have been user error. But I've gotten this thing just perfect on 2 meters.
Have you ever did 2-meter sideband on a Pota?
Nope. There is 0. Now I haven't. I want to do 2-meter sideband so bad.
I do too.
Like, I am not a repeater guy at all. I might get on a repeater maybe 2 or 3 times a year at best. I just, like, when I first got licensed and was a tech, I was on them all the time, talking to guys, learning everything. Once I got into HF, it never ever went back to a repeater. I like simplex.
Well,
now I would love to do 2-meter sideband, but I don't check when the bands are opening. It's so hit or miss, and there is 0 like 14652 activity where I live.
Same.
So that's kind of the thing. It's like I want to do this, and that's one of the reasons that I bought the 705 was because it did 2-meter sideband, and I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and it's like, yeah, there's nothing. So one day.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the 991A, and it'll do it as well. But there's just nobody around here
Mm-hmm.
that really. I mean, I am on the local repeater because I'm big into the local club, and I run
Mm-hmm.
Thursday nights. I run a game night on there, and then Friday nights
Mm-hmm.
I run the net. So
Yeah. Yeah, the local repeater around here is pretty quiet. Other than Monday night, they have a net that's maybe a half hour, and it's just check in and
it was
make
actually
make your comments. I mowed the lawn this morning, and the weather's getting nice. Who cares? It's just whatever.
actually one of the local guys from the local repeater was in the chat. Scotty, oh, daggone it, what's your last name? Anyway, hey Scotty, I'll give you a shout out, bud. I don't see him up here now.
Scotty don't. Ladies and gentlemen, Scotty don't. Whiskey 4 Foxtrot Delta Tango Dwayne says you guys should try the DMR Pota channel. They have a net on Saturdays, half past UTC. So I do have the DMR Pota net on my DMR radio.
I've got it, and I got on there like 2 or 3 nights straight, and was talking on it, and then I don't remember what happened, and I just totally forgot about it.
Yeah, I haven't turned on my DMR radio in a while, but see, there it is, Pota.
Yeah, actually, I talked to Joe, Brett, and Dwayne on there one night. Both of them guys were on there.
I don't even know how to use this for you.
Here we go. James Venden says DMR isn't real radio.
Sure it is. This puts out RF. How is that not a real radio? It goes RF from right here into my hotspot that's right here. So you get about 2 feet of RF, and then it goes through the internet and then out to either another repeater or to a hotspot and then to another radio. So it's, yeah, I'm not big into DMR either. It doesn't do much for me. It's just another thing.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, it was really nice when I was a tech. I loved me some DMR when I was a tech because, here I could talk all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, but it's not near as cool as when you can do it with your actual radio, no internet.
Let's see. The Pota DMR group is Talk Group 3181. Pota DMR Talk Group 3181. So there you go. Yeah. Still can't think of that metal band.
I can even picture them. I wanted to get this one DMR channel. Yeah, another, if you're really into DMR, another cool net, they do it on, let me try to get this right, Monday night at 8 and Friday night at 9. It's
Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
Arch Enemy.
That's
the band.
It is it's the
Evanescence. Are you serious? Anime.
It's the Shark Net. It's on TGI Friday, room number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Do what?
I was giving them another really cool net on DMR.
So full disclosure, I absolutely hate nets. I can't stand them. So I will probably never be in any net.
It's more of a place you throw your call sign out, but then you pretty much everybody talks. Friday nights is really cool there because they go over like a guy does a whole like little lesson deal on like prepping and stuff like that. It's pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. There. Not baby metal. No. That's that Korean band, isn't it? Yeah. No.
All right.
So I want to talk about one other antenna before we wrap things up. So I have one antenna that is the bane of my existence, and I want so bad for this antenna to be my favorite antenna in the world, and it is not. It is the MFJ 1899T. This is a multi-band. It really is. So it's got these little taps, okay, with this little wandering lead that you tap, okay. This whole thing is basically just a coil, and then there's this whip on top that extends, okay. And I've done, I did a video on this a few years ago.
I was going to say, I think you've done a video on this antenna because it seems like I've seen it.
Yeah. And I want this antenna to work more than anything in the world. It's just, I can't bring myself to get rid of this. So yesterday, was it yesterday? Yes. Yesterday, guy by the name of Jerry, KB2IOF, who lives south of me, comes up to Huntsville every couple times a week. He tunes pianos for a living, and he tunes the pianos for the Huntsville. Where do I live? Sam Houston State University, the college here in Huntsville, Texas. And this antenna, you need to have a counterpoise and everything with it, and it sucks. Yes, K4NYM. Yes, you know about this. So he DMs me on Discord yesterday, or on Twitter yesterday. And he's like, "Hey, are you going to the park today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fixing to be there in a couple minutes." He's like, "You want some company?" I'm like, "Well, if you feel like hiking 8 miles, sure." So he gets out of the car and is like jeans and a t-shirt, like he's in like his work attire, but he got a delay, so he had some time to kill. So like, whatever, so let's hang out. So he's got a little Pelican case with him, and he's got this telescopic thing unscrews, and he's got this part kind of connected to the top of his, like the handle of the Pelican case. I'm like, oh no, he's got an 1899T. So I didn't say anything until we got out there, and I started razzing him about it. I'm like, you're really gonna use, like, I mean, you're welcome to use my NFED. Like I activate this park almost every day. Like, go ahead, go first. I don't care. Like, doesn't matter. He's like, no, I'll use this. So I'm like, well, how do you? So before we start hiking, he's like, yeah, this is my HT. I'm like, So everything I've been doing that you would think is right is just wrong. Forget everything. Forget counterpoise. Forget trying to make it resonant. Throw all that crap out the window. Because the X5105 has a PTT right here, and it has an internal microphone right there. Love this radio. Love this radio. This radio blows the doors out of the G90. The G90 is one of my absolute least favorite HF radios in the world. This is way better. I use my G90 more, though, oddly enough. Probably because it's 20 watts. I don't know. Because it's in the Go box, and it's just, I built it, so it's cool. So anyway, so he's like, yeah, I activate parks all the time. I'm like, with that antenna. And he's doing CW. So I'm like, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're doing CW. Whatever. Okay. So he's calling CW. He's calling CQ Pota CW. He only made like 2 or 3 contacts CW. He's like, yeah, I'll switch to sideband. I'm like, there's no way in hell you're making sideband contacts with this. This is all he's doing. That's it.
That's it.
He's got the whip extended, right?
Right.
That's it. He's using this thing as an HT. Okay, just like this. CQ Pota, K8MRD, calling CQ, blah, 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 right? He's using the internal tuner. The tuner's doing all the work on this thing. Sort of. So before the stream, I actually pulled this out. This is amazing. Here, I'll show you, actually. This, I don't know if I'll actually be able to show this, but this blew my mind. Your body is acting as the counterpoise for this. Yeah, I know, the fan. Shoot, we might not be able to see it. Maybe you can. Hang on. So this has an SWR graph on it. I keep hitting the ceiling. Hang on. I keep putting the whip down. So we're on. Let me tap this for 40. The tuner off right now. If I turn the tuner on, you can see that little icon right there. So just to show you. See that icon going on and off? Okay.
Yeah.
The tuner's off right now. So I can hit this SWR button and we can see the SWR graph. See how it's like probably 2-to-1 right now, just straight across the band?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, if I take my hand off of it, it should get a lot worse, except for when I'm trying to demonstrate it on. Oh, yeah, there it went. It spiked way the hell up. So it's like 10-to-1 now. But if I'm holding it, I am acting as the counterpoise right now, which is crazy. Okay. So really, the tuner isn't doing all that much heavy lifting. So he's sitting here calling CQ just like this, and he's making sideband contacts to, I forget what I mean, like Ohio, like all over New England and the East Coast and all that stuff, like far. So I have to try this. So this might give me new hope with this antenna. I mean, are you going to make a lot of contacts with it? Probably not. It took him probably 20 minutes to activate the park with this, where it took me 7 minutes with my end-fed half-wave. But just the fact, like, I love how small and compact this is. So I don't know if I'll say this is an honorable mention because I hate this antenna. It is garbage. It's like $90. And I mean, just don't buy it. But I have it. It was one of the first antennas that I bought. But there might be hope for it. I don't think you'll see me using it a lot, but I'm definitely going to try it. Because I love the X5105. And I want to love this antenna. Joseph Collins, this is a Fossil watch. I don't know what the model is, but it's okay. Fossil's not terrible. It is a
so 20 meter sideband.
Like that.
20 meter sideband on 20 watts with you as the counterpoise. I hope you've had all the kids you want already.
No, this is only a 5-watt radio. But no, I don't have any kids that I know about, and I'm going to be 42 next month, so it's kind of late in the game to start having kids, so I really don't care. If it sterilizes me, honestly, that's probably better for the world. Everyone's now going to buy an 1899T. Hey, knock yourself out. I would buy almost any other antenna in the world before I bought that antenna, but it works, kind of.
Any last minute questions before we start wrapping it up, guys? I'll start telling y'all a couple of things. I seen a couple of y'all talking about 6 meters in the chat tonight. I've been trying my best to get 6 meter contacts in the last week. So
has it been opening?
If I've gotten one
on sideband or FT8?
Sideband.
Okay, cool.
So if anybody thinks they're the 6 meter king, hit me up daily. I'm pretty much on a activate almost every day schedule right now because I'm working on too many things. I think I got four parks left in the state. Then will all be 4 separate.
So how many parks total are in your state?
There was 128, but we lost one. But I did activate it before we lost it.
So now, hang on, I got to ask. You're in West Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you could be part of the family, but I just watched the movie Wrong Turn. And I feel I've watched a couple other movies of a similar ilk. Like House of Wax and things like that. They all seem to take place in West Virginia. And there's always that one dirt road. The fork. You've never experienced that, or are you just part of the family and they don't muck with you?
That is called Hubert Hill Wildlife Management Area, the park that I will never go back to, and I will probably be the only person who has ever activated.
So you pass that rickety old gas station that still has the old school gas pumps and whatnot.
I put this thing in my GPS, and it took me to some guy's driveway. I drove around for like an hour trying to find it. Don't find nothing. Finally,
yeah,
I stop and talk to this.
Well, those wildlife management areas are like, I mean, you have no idea because they the Pota map, they just drop a pin. They don't have any clue where an actual and even looking at. So I'll look at Google Maps 99% of the time when I'm going to a new park. Like I'm going to scope it out on Google Maps and see as best I can. And there's a lot of places that these management areas are like, where do you go?
Yeah, I have had another one where I had to park and I just walked up and over the hill and down into it because I couldn't find a way in. But this one here, I finally talked to one of the phone guys and I asked him if he knows where it's at, and he's like, "Yeah, but why would you go there?" And I'm like, I explained to him what I want to do, and he's like, "Okay, but why would you go there?" And I was like, Can you tell me where it's at? He's like, "No." He's like, "I can't even explain it." He's like, "I'll have to show you." So he drives me another 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And then he points at this dirt road, and he says, "You're going to go down that road about 5 miles. The road's going to turn into the creek, and you're going to drive in the creek for several hundred yards."
What?
Yeah.
Like it's not a dry creek bed; it's an actual creek.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of it's dry, but there's several parts where.
So you're not going in a car?
No, I was in a 4-wheel drive.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Finally, I seen a tree said had one of the little wildlife management tags on it.
Mm.
I stopped in the middle of the road, threw up my antenna, made 10 contacts, and was gone.
See, and a lot of people ask me because I let's say I carry a sidearm. Okay. Pretty much, if you see me, chances are I'm carrying. And every now and again, it might show in a video. Somebody just commented on my channel earlier. It might have a couple days ago. He's like, "What do you need a pistol for? It's 2021. Get with the times." I'm like, dude, do you not watch TV? There was a freaking shooting in Southwest Houston today. It doesn't matter where you are. Sure, I'm in the middle of a park, but have you ever seen Deliverance? Have you ever seen House of a Thousand Corpses? Like, there's crazy people out there like that. I would rather have it and not need it.
Not too long ago, about 15 miles from where I live, some meth head tried to just pull open the door on a truck driver, and he blew him away.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it happens everywhere for sure.
Mm-hmm. So,
all right, but
anyway,
I guess we'll start wrapping up. What you got coming up on your channel?
I got a video coming out tomorrow for Thursday night ham radio at 6 p.m. Central. I have a special guest Parks on the Air activator with me.
Ooh.
So that should be exciting. And it is not a male.
Not
we'll go with that.
Male. Okay.
And then I've got all kinds of crap. I was gonna get out today and shoot another video, but it decided to. We got like an inch and a half of rain this morning, so I decided to stay in and edit a video. That video that will be out tomorrow. So I got a few things up the sleeve. I gotta do some reviews on another antenna. Imagine that. Well, it's sitting right here. This thing right here. This is an Ed Fong roll-up dual band 2 meter 70 centimeter J pole.
Nice.
And I've got the POV case for the 705 that I need to do, and there's other things that I can't think of now because it's getting past my bedtime. But yeah, that's the short list.
Bill wants to know if you're coming to Hamcation in February.
That is yes, I am. Let's just go with that. Yes, I will be there. I don't know when. My dad lives in he lives about 3 hours south of there. So I'll actually be going to Florida to hang out with my dad, but then I'm going to drive up. My dad and I are going to drive up because he's a ham we'll drive up to Hamcation. He doesn't have the stamina to stay out. I don't know why. I think he should. He's a pretty fit guy. But he's like, I just want to go see it and then leave, whatever.
Yeah,
which is fine.
I was actually quite jealous. I was watching one of your videos, and your dad actually made contact with you.
Yes,
and
that was only the second time he and I have ever had a contact. So that was very exciting.
I was really jealous of that. That's the reason I'm in Ham is because of my dad, and he's no longer here. But
yeah,
I would have loved to talk to him on the radio. That would have been awesome.
That was definitely a shock.
Yeah, you were shocked.
He just I don't know how he just happened to be tuning around the bands and heard me, because I don't think he knows that the Pota spotting page exists. I never text him when I'm out. I just go. So that was quite random. So so he and I'll drive up, and then I'm gonna probably stay overnight. I don't know how or where. Maybe in a hotel, maybe in someone's camper. I haven't figured out the logistics of it yet. But yeah, I'll be there for Friday and Saturday, and then I think Matt AE4MQ. He stays south of where my dad does, so he's going to drive me back to my dad's. So that's all good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's a fun event.
Awesome. I will be staying about an hour from Hamcation. My mom lives about an hour from there, so
cool.
I'll be staying there, but I'll probably be down there for like a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go there, I feel like I have to.
North or south of Orlando?
That would
or east or west, I suppose.
It would be west.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, Bill will correct me.
Mm-hmm. We might could meet up somewhere in the middle, because it's like 3 hours, at least from he lives in Lake Placid. I think that's where it is. Lake Placid, about an hour south of Sebring, if you know where that is.
Did they do a movie there?
There's a million Lake Placids.
Okay.
So, yeah. I think there's another Lake Placid in South Florida by where I'm from. So there could be more than one Lake Placid in Florida, but there's definitely Lake Placids all over the country. But yeah, I mean, we might could meet up halfway if you want to do a Pota while we're down there. That'd be fun.
Oh, for sure. We
got time to figure that out, though. It's only October, but yeah. And my dad just bought a new Corvette. He's got one of them fancy, I don't even know what the heck it is, but he's got like the highest end Corvette you can get. So I'd like to steal that and throw my Tar Heel on there. I don't think that'll happen, though.
But go to a car show in Pota there.
Yeah. That'd be cool. So anyway, that's about all I got.
Awesome. All right. I think I've got the Babcock State Park video. It should be out it'll be out to the Patreons on Friday, and it'll be out for everybody else on Monday. And other than that, I'm going to just keep working on the goals. Like I said, if you guys want to get me, I'm out there almost every day. I'm working on kilos at like 3 different parks, and I'm trying to get every band on all of those parks. So
I wish you the best of luck, man. That is
6 meters to
the achievement.
6 meters to one I'm worried about, because it's a little late in the year for 6 meter.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Everybody, I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. We kept a lot of people for the whole time, so I appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys on the air, or we'll catch you back on here next time. 73.
Yeah, buddy. Bye, everybody.